When drafting a motion, you keep many of the same formatting issues or formatting as you do in your answer. So remember, the complaint is different than any other pleading. So don't use that caption, but on your answer, you keep that same caption for the rest of the case. And so this is just a sample motion you might see. Just to give you kind of an idea, motions should be very short, just like this one is here. It's just the ask. Any of the detail goes in otherwise. So let's take a look at this. All of our same rules apply. So as you go through, our caption is going to look slightly different because it's going to be all caps, all bold as you go through and look at this. So all caps, all bold here. Um, you have Court of Common Pleas, Hamilton County, Ohio. You have the name parties. So you would have the party name and their designation. Again, all caps, all bold. You have all the defendants listed. Ours are plural, so it has the et al, and defendants would be plural on ours. Don't worry about this designation of all the attorneys up top here. Don't put that on here. Also, don't worry about this QR code. It's part of the scanning for Hamilton County. That's not something we have to do. And in fact, because of electronic filing, we typically try to avoid having to scan documents in. So ignore all that. Also, the filed, that's something from the court itself. This was a paper document that somebody had filed. So ignore those things. On the right-hand side, you have your case number, all caps, all bold. We have our actual case number. You have the judge's name. I don't like putting the judge's name in parentheses. It's an aesthetic thing, but I think it is diminutive to the judge, and we certainly do not want to insult the judge. Then you have the name of your motion. There's not a specific format for naming a motion. You call it what it is. So if you are doing a motion to extend time or a motion for extension of time, you call it a motion for extension of time. The only thing you might want to do is, if it's necessary, designate who is making the motion. So you might say defendant Portman's motion for extension of time, but you can simply call it a motion for extension of time. Here they've called it motion to compel plaintiff to respond to discovery request. Then you have the motion itself. The motion is just the ask for the court. I would put your introductory sentence because we typically do that. So you would put comes now the defendants and name them by and through counsel, and for their motion for an extension of time state as follows, colon, new paragraph. Then these paragraphs are not numbered like the answer or the complaint. They are just paragraphs as if we would write them in English. So then you would say the defendants respectfully move this court, and just like they have it capitalized here, you do not have to put the rule number. That's not something that we need um, to extend their time to answer the complaint filed by the plaintiff and name her. And then you might say we request an additional 10 days from, and put the date that you filed your or you filed the or whenever you're filing this motion to respond. And period. That's it. Nothing more, nothing necessary to go into any great detail on that. Then you have your subscription, very similar or just like, exactly like your corrected subscription on your answer. It should be from the defendants, should have all of all of the information in there. Here you can see they have a memo that has it in support of their motion. It's not necessary for ours. Ours is so basic, it's really not necessary. The thing that they are missing here, a couple of things. Just above the certificate of service and after the subscription, you want to include a notice. And there's a sample notice in your book, but the notice is explaining a time that the motion will be heard. So for notice, you would have a heading that says notice, and then you would say, please take notice that the above motion shall be heard on blank, when put whatever date, put a date 2 or 3 weeks from now in there. before this honorable court or at the court's earliest convenience. Some language like that would be perfectly acceptable. Then you can go right into your certificate of service. You do not have to have a separate signature there after the notice. You go into your certificate of service. You have their signature line. Signature line should be the attorney's name. And also, you should put who you're the attorney for. So, attorney for defendants, and it would list their names. Then you should always tender an order. An order is the court's answer to your motion. So I'll do another video on that, but it is just uh, the response, how you want the court to answer your motion.